Beesmas is the best and most hyped update in Bee Swarm, and this is mostly because after 2 years of the game's release, it was the only update Bee Swarm was receiving. But everyone, including me, is still always excited to play it on Christmas Day. That was until 2023 though, when it didn't happen, but released mid-year 2024 July. So let's go over every single Beesmas and how it changed Bee Swarm, with all new additions it had, the nerfs, the buffs, and the main focuses of it. So starting on the 19th of December 2018, when Roblox was hosting this Beesmas event that had a couple games in and had like 12 different days, so like a normal Christmas calendar. And of course, Bee Swarm was a part of it, being day 9 with you having to complete Bee Bear's quests, and this is where businessbanan came from as well, but at the same time, it's how Beesmas technically started. And this Beesmas was the smallest as well, as it only introduced the Bee Bear and had a timer there on a candy cane instead of a Beesmas catalog, then a festive bee reward too if you completed all 15 or 20 Bee Bear quests and gifts, but also a winter themed map and presents. Then for the quest difficulty, if you look at the last one being Festive Bee Workshop 3, it was like 100 million pollen from mountaintop, 50 million from mushroom, fruit tokens, sparkle tokens, spiders, ingredients with blender, and more. And you may now think that it's extremely easy, but back then it was really hard and time consuming for its time. Like it would take you a couple weeks to complete that, because well, remember as well, macros weren't a thing, obviously. You could also give every single NPC that existed a present, and because the Beesmas tree wasn't even here yet, the present rewards were quite interesting, as you got every single field buff with other items if you gave it to on it. And the first ever honey day also happened on the 25th of December too, then Beesmas ended on the 1st of February 2019, which I would say I would give the first ever Beesmas like a 6 or a 7, because it obviously introduced the Beesmas event, but it wasn't so crazy. Like, it was really good obviously, but it wasn't that big. And make sure to also rate each Beesmas with me, then let me know your score of each in the comments at the end of the video. But once we got even closer to December in 2019, it left a lot of people wondering on if Beesmas will even happen, as it only happened because of the Beesmas Roblox event, and that wasn't happening anymore, or Bee Swarm just wasn't in it. But people saw on it came online, and it successfully happened in an even bigger way, as on the 23rd of December in 2019, not only everything like Bee Bear, the winter themed map, and Festive Bee returned, but we also got the first ever introduction of Cub Buddies, which spawned a variety of tokens around them and collected your own bee tokens. The Cub Buddy skin for this year was the Bee Cub Buddy 2, after completing all of Bee Bear's quests, and once again the quests were really just the same. If you look at it too, like, it wasn't that bad. New Cub Buddy was introduced too, same with Beesmas tree and the brand new ornaments that gave you even more buffs and ornament presents, so the gift boxes with crazy loot. But this Beesmas was also the biggest to date because of the introduction of mythic bees, so the Vector Bee, Tadpole Bee, and Spicy Bee. And yes, it was only 3 mythic bees at the start, but we also got the brand new mechanic of mutations. But for the first time ever, every single NPC had a Beesmas quest that isn't only Bee Bear, as we had Brown Bear's ornament there, Big Bugs, which that actually kind of looks quite hard. Wait, no, it's alright. Which overall, they weren't that bad at all, and like the rewards for some of the quests, like bro, what do you mean 5 million honey and 5 tickets and micro converters? Like bruh. But once you completed all those quests, you had the ability to talk to businessbanan and get his first ever Beesmas quest. How nice. Was the quest itself nice though, or being the first ever one and made to be the hardest NPC quest ever? Well, if we take a look, it says 33k bubbles, which you needed to be quite pro to be honest to do that, as you needed loads of tadpole bees in your hive and pollen from Storm and all other fields. Most time consuming one is probably the 5 king beetles, 4 tunnel bears, 3 coconut crabs, and 2 stump snails. So at the time, that was one beefy quest to complete. That would definitely take a couple weeks, because once again, macro didn't exist back then. Everything had to be done manual, walking around Pine Tree with your tadpole bees there and popping all them bubbles. And oh yeah, as well, coconut crab being there actually reminds me that the 35 bee zone got introduced a bit before Beesmas in September, which it is quite cool, but that is still the highest bee zone we have, so yeah, we need a new one. Anyway, if you did complete the first ever BBM Beesmas quest, the hardest quest today, you got an astonishing amount of 349 honey and 1 blueberry as rewards. Yeah, that for sure was worth doing. Now, but the real reward is from opening the 12th gift box, which yes, there were only 12 NPCs, but you got 2 mythic eggs, 6 atomic treats, 6 festive festive beans, 2 gifted gold eggs, and 2 gifted diamond eggs. And obviously a honey day event. Can't forget about that. Which, yes, those were the broken festive beans at first that had no time limit on their Beesmas cheer buff. But talking about the time limit, the Beesmas time ran out because it ended on the 10th of February 2020. Once again, lasting about 2 months. But this time, we were sure we were going to get Beesmas in December 2020, as it already got confirmed in November of that year, and I am going to be giving that Beesmas about an 8 out of 10. Then on the 25th of December 2020, Beesmas released with normal stuff as always, but also with a lot more Beesmas additions, such as finally the Beesmas catalog coming out that contained loads of items, such as the gingerbread kabaddi or 250 gingerbread bears, which those got introduced to with snowflakes. Then more items like the brand new bee quip, for example, with puppy bee reindeer antlers and the normal one. But if you noticed in the last Beesmas, all the quests said ornament on them, but now they do all say that they are NPC decorations, because yes, the Beesmas decorations finally got added. And for the quest part in this Beesmas, if we do take a look at this year's BBM, it was the normal pollen ones there, but then the festive mark, festive nymphs, and fuzz bombs, and way more mobs. So mostly focusing on some of the new bee quips and the new decorations, but the rewards were definitely better than last year's. One of the easier quests for sure for the entire Beesmas too, but I think in this Beesmas the meta was the red hive as well, and I will give this Beesmas an 8 out of 10. Now the next update from here was literally the next Beesmas, because at this point the only updates Beeswarm was going to be receiving was the Beesmas Christmas event, meaning each Beesmas was going to be crazy stacked, as in 2021 obviously all the other things from before returned, but we already got 2 brand new mythic bees straight away, such as the precise bee and a buoyant bee, which they are one of the craziest and probably the best mythic bees right now. Same with a brand new bear being the dapper bear that introduced planters to us with the nectar mechanic and had a brand new quest and decoration being the Samova. And how can I forget about them puff shrooms too, with crazy new waxes and turpentines to craft the endgame planter of plenty, the 3 brand new tools being the gummy baller, the tide popper, and the dark side for every single hive collar. Like bro, when these dropped, it was so hype. Like I was such a noob back then, but I just wanted to buy all of these as fast as possible. They were just insane to use back then and still are, and I'm sure the brand new backpacks that are coming out soon will be the same. As we did also get 2 brand new dices there, which they're actually really crazy still, but the meta for this Beesmas was of course the macro meta. Yeah, the buoyant bee that got introduced absolutely took over, as at the start of Beesmas people were genuinely macroing a crazy amount and boosting too before the first nerfs even happened. But even after that, it was still crazy, just like the quests in this Beesmas, as this Beesmas was one of the first ones people really were getting annoyed with and started hating it, because the main focus was puff shrooms, which they are quite hard to do by yourself if you don't have a group. But even if you did, it was quite hard to force a legendary puff shroom like mountaintop, or get a mythic one even, or even that epic puff shroom inside of Sunflower Field or Stickbug's quest. And on it really was watching us on how we are doing with it, so he spawned a level 31 epic puff shroom that no one could kill as help for us. Wow, that was really kind of you on it. I'm sure a lot of people got that. But for this year's BBM quest was probably one of the hardest one known to literally anyone, because you had normal pollen there, of course, some collecting tokens, getting 4 days worth of nectar, which just took quite a bit. Planters in every field, you would just have nectar done by that already, so not even that bad. But then you had 24,000 tokens from puff shrooms though. Ew. Definitely not that fun. Doing puff shrooms for like a week straight, using a bunch of items there, but the hardest one was collecting 246 whirligig tokens, as barely anyone even knew how to get them, and you needed to grow like 100 blue clay, I think it was, and paper planters in pine tree field to even get it, as everything else would have been complete, just not that. So personally, I would rate this Beesmas about a 10 out of 10 because it was extremely fun and it introduced so much. And also for this year's Beesmas, it was a snow cup buddy if you completed all of Bee Bear quests. Anyway though, next we do have Beesmas 2022, which of course everything festive returned, but this Beesmas's theme was all about Robo Bear and the Robo Challenge. Yes, something to do with Robo stuff in a bee game. But the Robo Challenge did have 25 rounds, as everyone knows. Need to pick up upgrades for it, be good, and once you do complete round 25, you get this brand new amulet being the Cog amulet, which adds even even more grinding to the game, and not even speaking about Digital B, because that itself is probably one of the craziest and most grindiest things ever to date, because of all the drives you do need to max out, and not only have those 4 drives, actually maybe it's 2.5k drives total, but not only have them 3 drives, white, blue and red, but you also have glitch drives, which they are just insane to get. But as I said though, this Beesmas is all about Robo, meaning the quests were infested with it, such as Stigbug having a crazy amount of Cog Turret, Mosquitoes, so much Robo things, which led once again a lot of people to hate about it, because I mean, I don't blame you guys. Like, if I was a low level or something, or Blue Hive, you couldn't really do Robo Challenge that well, meaning you couldn't complete Beesmas because it was locked behind that, which was quite annoying, but I guess it was kind of a skill issue. But was BBM bad this year? Well, looking at it overall, it did have pollen normally, the bubbles, nectar, bee quips, puff shrooms, Robo Challenge upgrades, bees from the Robo Challenge, and 2.3 thousand stacks of Robo Party Blessing, because yes, that did get introduced with it, giving a turpentine, I think, if you get to rank 50, and a Robo Party Blessing, and that was really the hardest part about it. But even that wasn't even like so bad, as this year's BBM quest was quite easy. Like, I feel like the normal NPC quests were harder than BBM for some reason, and that shouldn't really be a thing. And the meta for this Beesmas was really still Blue Hive, like it was still really good, and I think on top maybe even after its nerf, because yeah, it did get nerfed, but the other hive colors were starting to see a crazy increase in honey making and actually doing really well. Now this Beesmas didn't add as much as the others, but I still personally really enjoyed it and have had great memories of it. I am going to be giving it a 9 out of 10, and also the Peppermint Cub Buddy was the Cub Buddy skin of that Beesmas. And I wish I could rate 2023's one, but well, that didn't happen, like 0 new updates in 2023. In 2024, however, so right now, we got Beesmas in July, which sounds insane, but kind of normal at this point. Anyway, this Beesmas didn't really introduce anything new, because we got all of these things in like 3 other different updates before, but it was mostly about stickers, which everyone hates probably the most out of anything, as basically all NPC quests aren't too good if you can't macro or have a low amount of stickers to trade, which kind of sucks. So that ruined most people's Beesmas this year, although every single year people complain about everything, so at the same time it's not really a surprise and kind of normal, like just get good. And the retro challenge was a requirement too, same with trading people, public sticker board, we did have a crazy leaderboard mechanic too, and even the coconut belt got added before, but I mean it's still in Beesmas, so I guess we gotta count it. But the BBM quest though for 2024 was really quite easy for me personally. Like, I had all the stickers ready and the Stick Cup Buddy before Beesmas even came out, but that was kind of the problem for most people. Like, even the coconut belt catching the combo was still quite a problem for most people, as they didn't really have that. Overall though, this is definitely one of the easiest Beesmas to date if you were quite good at the game. If you weren't though, it was a crazy pain. And the meta for this Beesmas is also White Hive, as it makes more than we ever thought it would. But the other hive colors are doing pretty well still, like Blue Hive obviously really good, making a crazy amount every single day, like up to 200 300 trillion, and then Red Hive making probably 2 quadrillion even on good days, 1 quadrillion, like the boost be getting crazy. And Doodle Cub Buddy is also this year's Beesmas Cub Buddy reward from B-Bear. And oh wait, as well, as you guys do see over there, the Sun Bear has been introduced in this Beesmas. Like, it was supposed to give us an ornament, but it seems like it's not, since we have 10 days left of Beesmas. I don't know where the quests even are for Sun Bear. I guess we're just still waiting for them. Overall though, I would give it about a 7 out of 10, as it has definitely been a fun Beesmas after like an entire year of not having one. The vibes were definitely different since it wasn't December, but that's alright, still loving it a lot. And we won't sadly be getting an extension for this current one too, and there won't be another one this December 2024, as the next one is 2025. So let's hope that one won't be too crazy, but apparently it will just have recycled content. So let me know what your ranking is and which one you like the most, and make sure to also check out a video over here if you did like this one.